Good evening, folks. Right, it's Neil Young time again. We're going to try a great song of his, Harvest Moon. All right, Harvest Moon. Now, download your, all your chordy stuff. You know what it is now, don't you? You know how it all works. All the information that you do with these are your shapes. These are your 12 frets, and everything you're going to do is down the bottom here. It's pretty straightforward, this one. The only thing you need to pay attention to is you've got to play what's called a dropped D. You've got to make a drop D tuning. What does that mean? It means that you take your E string, so let's assume I haven't got a tuner, right? And as you can see at the moment I haven't, and you need to do a drop D. I need to take this E string down to the note D. It's currently at E. How do I do that without a tuner? Well, I'll use this fourth string as reference, which we know is a D. Here we go. Now, if you've got a tuner like I have here, then of course double check it. But you've got to learn to trust your ears. That you won't always have a tuner, or that you leave the battery on and you get to a gig. You've got to go back to the old-fashioned way of tuning it up by ear. So don't forget to use these. All right. Okay. So this is what we're going to play. I'll play a little bit of the track for you, and then I will show you how to do it. Come on. There's harmonics, by the way, I put on later. We're not doing that in this lesson, that's for somebody else to do. Right, straight into the riff. What do we do? You'll see loads of people, including Neil Young, using this sort of contraction down here, where you use two fingers there, and then you have to shift all your fingers around to play the next chord. We're not going to do that. As I say, my lessons are all about keeping it simple, all right? So what we're going to do is going to take finger number 2 and put it at the 10th fret. Where's that? Easiest way is to look for your double dot, or one dot as in my case, and move it down 2 frets. And then put your third finger on the 3rd string at the 11th fret, okay? Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to keep those 2 fingers there throughout this riff. At some point we're going to be adding our little finger to the 2nd string here. Don't bother taking this off, leave it on, always leave it on, no need to take it off. And then we're going to... So that finger will go there. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. Rather than do this, which he does, which we're not going to do because we want to keep it moving, because it's easier. All right, so this is what we're going to do. We're going to play a bass string. Now, when I say a bass string, I don't mean do this and keep your hand up here. I mean do a bass string like this and treat it as a downstroke, all right? Because the way you keep your rhythm is to always try and keep your hand moving, okay? It's what gets a lot of people confused. So in a nutshell, we're going to go 6 down, then we're going to add our little finger to the 2nd string at the 12th fret, and we're going to go down, up, down, okay? I'm coming up as well, of course I am, but I'm not hitting the strings, but my hand is still going to move. And then I'm going to put this finger on the 1st string at the 9th fret. I'm going to take the little finger off now and go 6, up, down, up. Okay? So it's 6 from the 1st shape, 6, down, down, up, down, change, 6, up, down, up, down, up. Now watch this hand. Watch this as I play it. Da 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 boom da 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 da. See, your hand never stops moving. When I play that bass note, You know, how do I do a downstroke and not strike the other strings? I angle it away. But when you look at it from this angle, it looks like I'm doing that all the time. Okay, so that's a tip. So that's how you play the riff, okay? Well, there are two riffs in this, that's one of them. Not many people know what the second one is because it's sort of tucked away. We'll get to that in a minute. Now, we get to the verses. It's an E minor 7th. Beautifully simple chord. You just take two. Imagine you're playing an E minor like that as normal. Okay, ordinarily an E minor 7th would look like that. But we've detuned our bass string 2 frets. And now we need to give those 2 frets back. So we're going to put this finger here on there, and then we're going to play the 5th string at the 2nd fret like that. Move a little bit closer. So that's our E minor 7th. Okay, and we're going to do 4 bars of that. What does that mean? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and etc. So that's our E minor 7th. That's page 2 taken care of. There's your strum down there. Very important. It's a shuffle rhythm. Da 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 da. Well, we've talked about that before, so I'm not going to go over it again. This is the second riff that he does. I'll play it for you along with it, and you'll know where it comes in. Oh, yeah. This is E minor 7. It's coming up. Look at that, it's great. Okay, so let's have a look at the shapes before we put it together. We're going to play our D. Then we've got a D major 7th. So just lie that finger across 3 strings. And then you're going to bring this finger up to the 4th, over the 4th string as well, like an A6th. And then you're going to put this finger on for the last couple of beats. 3rd finger onto the 4th string at the 4th fret. And he plays it like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and. So that's where that goes on. Do it again. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. The 2 is silent. Then the next and, you bring that finger up to the 4th string. Do that part. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3. The 3 is silent as well. And then you put this finger on here and go and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. In your head, get the rhythm of what we were trying to play. It's always easier rather than looking at numbers. On your piece of paper it looks like this, and I've had to break it down so you can see the individual little bits. And even though I wrote it down, even I would struggle to read it like that. But if I in my head go dum danga 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 da ba 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 da bum danga 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 da ba 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 da, I sort of danga 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 da ba ba. Much easier to do it that way. Alright, what happens after that? It goes back to E minor 7th for your next line. Just like children sleeping, we keep dreaming this night away. And it goes back to the riff that we've just done. Now, this is an interesting little thing. Whenever he's playing the E minor 7th here, he always goes to the riff here, the one that we've just played, okay? Now, it's important that, because you're going to be thankful that I've mentioned that in a minute. Now, when it goes into the, let me keep playing. Just like children sleeping, we could dream this. Same riff as before. Now where you hear the girls going in, "Ooh," but there's a full moon rising, it's a subtle chord change. Instead of playing an E minor 7th there, he takes the same 2 fingers and puts them up to the 5th fret. And that chord, excuse me again, is a G6th. And he plays his 4 bars there, I'll play along. But there's a full moon rising, let's go dancing in the light. Now, did you hear the riff coming in there? Whenever he plays the G6th, he always goes to the riff that we started with at the head of the song. So, but there's a full moon rising, let's go dancing through the night. Exactly the same. Back to the G6th. As I say, it's all written down for you on the notes that you can download for free on the link below. All right, so we've done all the main bits now. There's only one other little bit to do, and then I'll play it through for you. G6th again. We're here, so we're going to go to there. Now, this is the only other little bit of the song that changes. Okay, can you see that E minor 7th? We've got an added 7th there. So these are the chords. Now you're going to have to mute this off. There's 2 ways of doing this. If you want to play the bass notes, you can try doing it with 2 fingers like that, and then put your little finger there. I've noticed when Neil Young plays it, I've got a feeling he's actually stopping 2 strings with 1 finger like this. See this finger here? Can you see that I'm stopping 2 because my fingers are getting fat as I'm getting older? I can do that. Whack it right between the 2. You know, he could be doing that, or he could just be holding that down and muting it with his thumb, because his thumb is ligging around at the top of the top of the neck here. All right. Sounds better if you can play the 2 notes though. So from here, the E minor 7, we're going to do 2 bars of that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and drop to an A 7th. 2 bars. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, when you look at your piece of paper, you will see on page, whatever it is, I think it's page 12. I think it is, hold on. On page 11, you'll see that the chords will be written at the top, but I have forgotten to actually put the little finger shape. It's exactly the same. All right, so it's very important to know that page 10 and 11 are the same, even though I didn't put the, I must have been in a rush doing something, or somebody probably interrupted me. All right, but just follow the same chords that you've just done. And that's the song, it doesn't do anything else. I'm going to play part of it. I'll play from the top. Now remember, I'll shout as I'm going along what's going on. Intro at the 10th. See the way I'm doing that? E minor 7. guitar, and that's all it does all the way through. When it does the solo where the mouth organ comes in, that's just playing the G6 part. If ever you're not sure what chord it is, if it's subtle, just listen to the bass guitar. The bass guitar's going, you know, it tells you where the chord's going to be. If you hear the bass guitar going, you know, just follow your bass. It's always a good tip, that. Right, this tutorial is 16 minutes long. People are probably starting to get bored. The next thing I'm going to do will be maybe Harvest Moon. There's so many people know how to play that already. If people comment on this one and say they want Harvest Moon, not Harvest Moon, Heart of Gold. People want Heart of Gold. I'll do a dead quick tutorial on that tomorrow for you. If I don't hear anything, I will move on to the next one. Alright, but in the meantime, enjoy that one, and I shall see you tomorrow. Don't forget to download your free chord charts that I've put on the link for you. Alright? Good night. Bye-bye.